So sorry. Good morning. Thank you so much, Mala. So, a very good morning from Aberdeen.Hindu Temple. It's a great fortune to be here. Today, I was thinking about the 4 ages. So, the Golden Age, the Silver Age, Copper Age, and the Iron Age. And the first 2 ages are really a time of what we call heaven on earth, like the Garden of Allah. It's a time when there is beauty, when there's abundance, purity, when every power it's in its full power, when nothing is lacking, and where there is absolute happiness, health, wealth, there's no untimely death. But even from the Golden Age to the Silver Age, there is a decrease in the power. There's a decrease in the purity of that time. And in the Silver Age, there is still a lot of happiness. There's still goodness and abundance and beauty, but it has decreased a little bit. And it actually reflects also the consciousness of human beings. And then we come into the Copper Age, which we also call the Merchant Age, where we exchange goods. So I give love, you give me love. I give you, something nice, you give me something nice. And so our love, our giving is conditional. Conditional on what we will receive from somebody else. And then time advances and we come into the Iron Age. And iron is a metal that when you expose it to the elements, to the outside world, it actually rusts. And not does it just finish, but it doesn't lose itself. Whereas iron, once it rusts, it almost disintegrates and pulverizes and disappears. And that reflect and that hardness can actually give some benefit. However, if exposed to the outside world, it can rust, it can become ugly, and it can also disappear completely. And so it's a time when we actually concentrate on the outside world, we actually don't get power, but we lose our power. It's a time when there's hardness and harshness, whereas gold is very malleable. Gold is an element that is soft in its purest form. It is made stronger by adding alloys to it. Yeah, but in its form, in its pure form, it's shining. No matter whether you put it into the mud, it will always shine beautifully once you take the mud away. It is not affected by the outside world. And then we actually add a 5th age to it, which is a time that happens at the same time towards the end of the Iron Age, which is called the Confluence Age, which means it's a time of confluence, which means of merging from one age to the other, where we actually are in a transition period. And so throughout the whole cycle of time, we have been coming down and we have been losing our power, our strength. And in the Confluence Age, which is a time that is parallel to the Iron Age, which means it coexists at the same time, we are actually doing the effort to connect ourselves with positive values, and we actually take the blessings from those around us by expressing those highest values. Called the relation. Just as a form of actually looking into aloneness and loneliness at this time of the COVID pandemic. And one thing that we discussed was how water is an element that has got very strange physical, chemical properties. Actually, as water goes below freezing point, it expands, its density increases. Whereas when we go above freezing point, the density decreases, it becomes lighter. So it's a very unusual physical chemical properties. Now today it has been trying to snow here in Aberdeen, and when you look at a nice snowflake, which is actually frozen water, you will notice that it has got beautiful geometrical forms, sorry, which are called, which are like water crystals. And there was a Japanese researcher or businessman that then supported research into the properties of water. And what he found out is that water from, say, a spring or a holy river had properties where the water became beautiful, created beautiful snowflakes. Whereas if we took water from polluted water, or water going through an industrial area or an effluent with human, without whatever waste, that water would not be able to create a structure, a geometrical structure good enough to create a snowflake. And then what he did is he used a glass of water and wrote on it love, beauty, wisdom, peace, love for humanity, family love, truth, all these very positive qualities. And what happened is that even water that was polluted was able to form structures again, and these structures, these water snowflakes, were beautiful, complete, perfect, balanced, harmonious. Even if we took water that he could not, where he could not create these snowflakes, that water would be able to regain. Now, why is it important? Why is the the type of thoughts that we have important? Now, the world is made 70% of water. So water is a very important element. It gives us life. We are made 95% of water the moment we are born. As we grow, we lose a little bit the water content. And by the time we are adults, we are 70% of water. So a lot of water still in us. And we know that we can live without food for quite a long time, but we cannot live without water for a long time. Now, if human consciousness has the ability to change the structure and polarities of water, and make water where you cannot form a crystal into water, then I would deduct that that water has got its perfect ability to function at its highest potential. And therefore the water in my cells, if I have high elevated thoughts, will be able to function at its highest form and therefore give me ability, courage, all of these things. Whereas if I live in an environment where there is conflict, where there is depression, where there's anger, where there's fear, then this water loses its strength and its polarity and its ability to form these beautiful snowflakes. And so what happens is that I lose strength. I don't have power. My immunity is low. My health is bad. Everything I do, loses its potential to bring benefit and success. And so how does that correlate to the time of the cycle that we are now living a time that we call the Iron Age? And parallel to this Iron Age, at the same time, is a time that we call the Confluence Age. The time when we return from the Iron Age to a Golden Age time again. And so we are in that trust required to a return to a state of equanimity, a state of love, a state of power, a state of benefit, not just to the self, but also to the world. And therefore, the type of thoughts that I have will have a positive effect on myself, but also on those around me. So this is why having pure, powerful, loving thoughts actually is of benefit, and it creates an environment of lightness, of light, of love, of peace, in which everything can grow and prosper. So now let's take a deep breath. And as we breathe out, just relax. Relax and let go. Make sure you're comfortable, you're warm. Take another deep breath. And become aware of every part of yourself, of your body. But then let go of it and retreat into the awareness of the soul, the being of light, the eternal form of yourself, the one whom you always will be, the one who has beautiful sanskars, which means personality traits, whose core values are those of love, of peace, of wisdom, of purity, and of happiness. Just think how these core qualities create beautiful, beautiful water crystals, balanced and powerful. Yourself, your whole body, your whole self to function properly, and it's at its best. Fill your strength and power. Be aware of the soul, the being of light in the center of your forehead. Be the king, the queen, the emperor, the empress, who with lightness and grace and beauty benefits the world. Be the mirror that reflects God's light. God, the Supreme Soul, the Supreme Being, who at this time of the confluence age becomes present so that those who can listen can reform themselves and make the transition from the Iron Age to the Confluence Age, and from the Confluence Age move towards the Golden Age, to the highest form, to the highest consciousness, to the form that benefits the world and everyone in the world. Allow your mind to be peaceful and calm. And bring to the mind the quality of peace. The value, the virtue of peace. And think about how peace will feel inside yourself. How your body will feel. How your mind will feel. How is your vision going to be? How are your eyes going to? How you're going to breathe. How full your lungs are going to become when you experience peace. And imagine your thoughts that are peaceful. Peaceful thoughts will have pauses of peace between each word. They will become slow, full. And as you do, your mind is peaceful and it is able to produce loving thoughts. Love will now start to flow, connected with the Supreme. Your soul just reflects that love of the Supreme, that indiscriminate, unlimited love that has got no need to give and take, but is just giving with utmost generosity, with the feeling of wanting to serve and to give. And just as you give, as you serve, you receive the blessings. And as you receive blessings, success is all around you. Love is the reason for being. Love is the currency that gives happiness, gives security and strength, gives health, not just wealth, but health, because even pain is less painful. It just merges into resistance and strength. Our breath is deep and slow, and our face reflects the light of the Supreme. We create an aura, an environment around us that is of benefit, that is soothing, that is powerful. And time becomes our companion, cooperates with us. Situations around us magically serve those who cooperate with the goodness in this world. We become Thakurs, a new word that I learned today. Thakurs, the images of God. We are not gods, but we reflect like a mirror the light of God. And we bring hope, health, wealth, happiness to this world. Because God's power will support our mind, our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, will give us strength in whatever actions we do, take, whatever we give in this life will have that sweetness attached to it. And the light of God will be seen in those Thakurs, those images of God, the ones who share the love of the Supreme at this time of the confluence age. And even on the level of matter, we are made out of matter, but the consciousness, the human consciousness, will be stored in the memory of the water in our bodies. And it will create beautiful snowflakes or water crystals. Because that consciousness creates integrity and structure in ourselves. So whatever we touch, whatever we do, whatever interaction and relationships we have, they will be blessed and filled with light and love, peace, happiness, and purity. And the saligrams, the beings of light, the children of the Supreme, the Thakurs, the images of God on this earth, the angels, are now among us. It is the time of the conference, the time to harness all the beautiful qualities, all the powers from the Supreme, share them with the world. Om Shanti. Create feelings of love. Connect with the Supreme and share those thoughts of love, those blessings with the world. And the world will respond. You will be blessed and you will be fortunate. Om Shanti. Have a lovely week ahead. See you next Sunday. And share the beauty that you have inside with the world. Om Shanti.